The biggest thing that came to mind while watching was definitely unsettling. I think that's what they were going for, and that was very well emulated through the music and the choreography, definitely, and also even like the camera movements. It would turn sideways and then go the other way, and it was disorienting, and like the whole time it made me very uncomfortable, but still intrigued enough that I kind of stopped watching.
I just thought it was like interesting short film. Like it's the music behind it is pretty interesting coming from like a music perspective. Like it's the amount of streams that they decided to add to the actual video was interesting, and the shots they did as well with it. That was done well. It's pretty interesting, and where they actually shot it, that kind of gave me this duality of LA vibe.
I really enjoyed this one. I think the movement was really powerful, and I just loved the diversity in the whole film, whether it was the movement, the colors, the people, and I thought they had really powerful moments, and I loved the transition from day to night. I think that moment really, I felt it in my
I
body.
really like this one. I kind of lost myself. I wasn't like thinking about the end, and when it came up, it kept moving, and the fact that it changed, that it was ending, and then something else happened. And while I was watching it, I was kind of feeling, oh, am I watching a horror film? Oh, and then, oh no, is this West Side Story? Oh no, is this, it was so interesting. It got my mind to almost kind of relax in the other world, and other images started coming in and out.
Yeah.
And I started pondering like human existence and
It took you on a journey.
Yeah, and like in this urban setting, and then there were moments when it was dark, and then but the way it ended and began was kind of like very prosaic, like your normal everyday life. Kind of went and I loved the performers. I thought they did a beautiful job of of course they're beautiful dancers, but they weren't overacting, but yet felt kind of a strong connection between them, and that they were really absorbed fully in their emotion, and I believed them. And it was a very compelling piece. I absolutely adored it.
I really liked how it kind of all started out separate, and then they had like this experience together, and they like really felt it, and you got that kind of feeling of like whatever they're going through, they're in it together, and then they kind of ended all like tangled and everything, and then they all just dispersed, and it was like, that's how it is in real life. Like you have you kind of all are on your own path, and you go through these things together that kind of like unite you, and like it gets tangled and it gets complicated, and then over time like sometimes you just unravel and go about your life, and I thought that was such a beautiful way to portray that.
I'm Sophia Stoller, and I directed Screaming Shapes.
I'm Peter Gould, and I was a cinematographer for Screaming Shapes.
What was your inspiration for either starting this project or picking up on this project? What was your inspiration for being a part of what you created?
My inspiration for making this piece is my lovely wife, who's a choreographer, and I'll let her speak to the piece.
So the piece was started at a choreographer-composer residency where the goal was to create dance and music simultaneously. So not dance that's choreographed to music or music written for dance, but creating them together in the room at the same time. And that's where I met Peter Shin, who is the composer of the piece. And we started it there, and the sounds and the music came from a poem that was written right after the 2016 election. So the very frenetic and sort of like your stomach eating itself alive feeling was in the music and coming from that poem. And then we visualized that in the form of dance, first as a stage piece actually, and then Peter came along, the other Peter came along and became one of the dancers basically as the camera. And so we made it very interactive and immersive for the audience by bringing the camera inside of the dance.
It was just a day? Yeah, and then some rehearsal time as well.
Yeah, we had set the piece prior. Like I said, it was performed on stage first, and then we we got the morning shot, and then we had to get the same shot at night when it like went out, the lights went out, so to speak. So we went back, I think it was 5 a.m. downtown LA, we took over a street, then we came back at 11